Hello and welcome to another episode of The Raw Deal. My name is Boxer, and once again, I am glad to say that I'm with my usual co-host, Dictator. Dictator, how have you been?
Well, actually, finished up soon, but all I did was finish the campaign. I had to go back and, max my guy out.
Max your guy out, find all the secrets, unlock all the crap. How was the campaign?
Campaign is pretty good. I mean, for a first-person shooter, it's enough to keep things. It's enough to keep things interesting why beyond the reason of why am I going from point A to point B?
Okay, just enough. Very John Romero-esque.
Actually, I'll go a little bit more to that because it actually has more of a plot than the original two did.
I don't know, man. The original two had enough of a plot where we read the books. Or I read the books. I don't know about
Well,
you.
I didn't read the books, but there's more to it than just like you actually have mid-mission dialogue and stuff.
Nice. All right. Well, I'm sure that we'll have some commentary on that later. But I believe you had a particular topic to talk about this episode.
Oh yeah, okay. So I got this idea from I was watching another YouTuber. This guy goes by Monday Matt, and he was doing a video on apparently now Mattel is making a game developer Barbie, and it's pretty much what it's self-explanatory. They gave her red hair and the tech geek gear, which is the only with the doll itself. The only issue I have is they should have kept her blonde because by making her a redhead, now she just looks like Ariel from Little Mermaid. Like it's literally like the same shade of red as Ariel's hair. So I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, so the Little Mermaid now has a job in the tech field. Anyway, the point I was bringing up was to mention a few things about how it's sort of it doesn't really show the reality of actually working for these companies. And I figured, at one point or another, we actually did work for some of these companies. So, why not spend one episode of our gaming show talking about what's actually like being in the industry?
Granted, we both had it's we have a interesting insight because of where we were.
Yeah.
So, I guess I could. Oddly enough,
You started working there first, so you go ahead and how it was like for the company you were at.
so I was right now. This company doesn't really exist anymore because it got absorbed by Activision, which also absorbed Blizzard. Um, I used to work for Vivendi Universal, which I don't mind saying to people because everybody used to work for Vivendi Universal Games. They on the summertime they employed like 300 plus or more temp QA people. So in their minds, if they had the money, just throw more bodies at it. You know what I mean? So
Right.
which was a nightmare for. Well, let's start from the beginning. A QA person, at least with the group I was with, all we had to do, we were given sections of the game. We were assigned to a game. So don't be thinking like, oh, I get to play games, plural, every day for the rest of the time, and I clock in and out playing games.
Yeah,
No,
it's a misconception.
it's a, hey, so your QA lead comes in. Wait, we have some bugs in all these levels. You take level 1, 2, and 3 and play it today, or level 1 even, and play it today, and then find more bugs or verify certain bugs are fixed. So you can literally take some time, and you might even take you an hour just to get set up to a particular a particular stopping bug. We have also a concept of bugs where it's like, oh yeah, this one letter is slightly off, to hey, if they do this, they can't progress anymore. And that's something,
Right.
yeah. So there are some severities, right? And so that's a normal day. You go in, you verify bugs have been fixed, you find new bugs, rinse and repeat for 3 months, 3.5 months, whatever's. Um, but in our place where I was working, you kind of felt like a second-rate citizen because you're surrounded by other gamer slaves, basically, and you never get to do anything the regular employees get to do, like the in and out truck and all that. So I had a very
Oh, right,
bitter
right.
experience. It was so bitter that people started making memes before memes really existed, where they put like the because the company would send out an email to everybody, hey, in and out truck next week, and an asterisk, only full time employees get it. You know, and then so people started replying to that email with photos of like Mount Rushmore and say, freedom for everybody, asterisk, not for the temp QA people.
I would have posted up a picture of Auschwitz somewhere.
Oh. But it was, from my experience though, it was just kind of clock in, clock out, do your best, write up some bugs, and hope that the developers get to it. Oh, by the way, the developers in our case were international, and they had a 56K, which means dial-up. I remember
Oh my
dial-up.
God.
They had a 56K connection, so when they tried to send us the build from Russia, we were slated to test to test all weekend, and I get there, they're like, oh, the build never make it. Sorry for your trouble.
Oh God, I got my own stories of that to add after.
But I did take pride in my game, even though the game didn't sell very well. Um, I took some pride in it, and I also got to be a temp, even a temp tester on certain other games that required a lot of testing. Like if anyone tried they made the Godfather 2, which is an open world game. It was actually pretty good. Um, you They also made the game series Fear, which is a first person horror shooter. That was good. And I got to test those out. It was kind of fun. Um, and if you take any of the QA leads off, you can get dumped over to the kit test. Back then, before this was like before the iPhone really hit everybody, and app games. You had those little like flip phone games, those games that are like crappy. Yeah, you could spend 8 hours. They could dump you down there, and you spend 8 hours a day playing that crap. Your hands would hurt afterwards, or you get to play the okay, that's it. You tick me off. Go play the educational game. It's like kitty first, whatever, for kinder through second grade type game. And man, that
Screw up and you get demoted to Class D.
yeah. So that's all I want to say right now for it. I'm sure that throughout the show there's other things, but you have you. Oh man, no. I I want to go into uh, uh, Wave Shippable after you
Oh
talk about
God.
yeah. Let's all right. Let's talk about your QA experience first.
Okay. Well, I work for two big name companies in the industry. One's Japanese, one's American. I would name them, but they're actually still around, and I don't want to run afoul of any non-disclosure agreements I signed because, well, I
Right.
don't remember all the terms and conditions on this, so I'm not entirely sure what I can and can't say. So I'm just gonna not even like tip up on them yet. Anyways, working at the first company, it was a lot of the same stuff you mentioned, and that the differences between us and the regular employees. The only thing is with us, they kind of let us have a free hand, whereas they didn't really. It was kind of weird. The regular employees didn't want to deal with us, but that resulted in us pretty much being able to do whatever we wanted, how we wanted, when we wanted. So they give us the project, but they wouldn't make any attempt to micromanage the project at all, only because they didn't want to deal with it. So here, go through this, let's get it done. So in an odd kind of way, and it worked out for us, and in some bizarre sense, we're more of a small department, so we actually did have some sense of community. So, every Wednesday, people would pitch in, and somebody would go and run and grab bagels for everybody. If it was lunch, if somebody was leaving, like it was the last day or the first day, we'd all go out to lunch and stuff. And, of course, none of the regular employees would get invited because, like, hey, fuck them, this is our thing. So, that's kind of that for the kind of office culture there. It was very, like, pretty laid back. But, yeah, we had a lot of same issues. Like, we had one project where it was, we got Russian developers, and they only had 56K. So we'd come in for overtime. We'd be sitting there going like, hey, where's the project lead? Is he here yet? Yeah, he's downstairs getting to build. 20 minutes, like, we're down for like 10, 20 minutes. Okay, like, what are we doing today? Besides sit here, you get paid to do nothing. And, lead testing, let me go call him. Calls him up. The guy comes up here. Just apologizes to everybody. He's like, dude, guys, I'm really sorry, but they sent us the wrong build. Okay, so we just like, well, the new one won't finish downloading until it's time for you guys to clock out. So you guys can just go home, or you guys can continue testing the old build and see if you find anything else. Wink. It was kind of like his way of saying, okay, I'm sorry I dragged you guys out here on a Saturday, so to make up for that, you guys can just stay here, pretend to work, and you'll get paid.
That works.
And we've had days where, somebody will bring in the box 11 tick, and we just sit there watching that while we work. But for the most part, though, when stuff was really, when things were really on the ball, then yeah, we really got our work done. But when there actually was like legitimate stuff for us to do, we would actually do it. And like, same thing. We had all different bugs at levels of severity, and here I'll go into a little bit the difference between testing a game and playing a game. Because, like, when all my buddies started, like, got the job, like, oh, you're going to play video games all day? Let's hold on a second there. the interview process for that company went like this. There's, like, a kind of, they ask you a couple questions, and then at the end, the end for this interview was, he asked me what the difference was between playing a game and testing a game. Okay, so, playing the game, you're playing it for the experience. Testing it, you're looking for everything that's wrong with it. And the wrap up the interview was, here, write a bug report on a bug you found. Luckily for me, I just finished playing, the original version of Killzone, which had, graphical bugs up the ass. So that's how the interview process went. Now, when you're actually working, there's several, methodologies to testing. There's open testing where you just play the game and just see, find what you can find.
Mm-hmm.
Usually this is what they do when the project is either early on or it's a brand new build, and wherein they're not worrying about regression.
Yep.
And then there's the plan testing where you have a test case, which is where things get really mind numbing. Because the test case is you have to test very narrow and specific things. And you have to test them multiple times.
Yeah.
So, for example, one of the jobs I had to do was I had to write the test case. So I had to write the test case for multiplayer. Now this is for a first-person shooter, so I had to make a grid, like a grid or table of all the weapons. Okay, then I had to, along one plane, I had to write all the proper functionality for the weapon. So we have, for example, row 3, AK-47, correct modeling, correct firing animation, correct damage, and whatever else needs to properly happen. And you need to check every one of those. And here's the fun part when it comes to the part about whether or not there's a right amount of damage. You gotta go around the entire game and kill at least one of every enemy with that thing. Yeah, like imagine playing Call of Duty, looking for Arab terrorist A. And you have to find this guy you have to find one instance of this guy everywhere, and then you have to kill him with only that gun. Then you move on to the next guy, and the next guy. It will melt your brain.
Man,
But yeah, that's how the test cases go. The other one was another example we have, which is melting your brain, was during one open testing. It was actually me. I fell on the map. There was a wall in the level that there was texturing there for the wall, but there wasn't any collision. So I just ran through the wall and fell on the map. So now I had to go through every.
Sorry, go ahead.
So I have to run through every map and run alongside all the walls of the map to look for any more map holes.
Dude, that's the best, man. You just spend all day just go. I mean, sorry to interject, but that was a good spot where the first time I ever played Half-Life 2 for myself, because I was still in like QA mode, I ran along the side, like the opening sequence of the game, ran along the side chain link fence and found a non-progression. Like I jumped and I got stuck. I'm like, what? There's no reason why I should be stuck here. I got so ticked off. I wanted to write them an email with a bug steps.
You just email them the bug report. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna reply back and it's just Waived Shippable.
Oh yeah, go ahead and talk about that. No,
I'll get to it. I'm not there yet.
Okay.
So anyway, then the other Joker's like they were trying to take advantage of this one. Then the other kind of testing there is the soak testing. Basically, you turn on the program and you just leave it alone and see like the people crash our zone or whatnot. We've actually had it was like pre-alpha build, but we actually did have a game that crashed by itself.
Oh man, memory leak.
Yeah. I mean, so basically, I moved the character to where you can see part of the level being animated, like it was like background machinery, like a wall pumps going up and down. So I just left it there. Clocked out, went home, came back, the thing was frozen. Like, hey boss, you don't move no more. So what I'm saying, Joker trying to take advantage of this is, you'll get somebody who just wants to slack off and doesn't feel like working that day, and he'll just leave things sitting there. The lead tester or his project lead going, hey, what are you doing? Why aren't you working? I am soak testing.
Well, that's funny is that when I worked in my job, we actually had a guy who, apparently it's a common name in that culture, whose first name was Soak. S-O-K. I'm like, man, we're assigning all the soak testing to him? That's racist. Anyways. Yeah, sorry, continue.
Okay, so I mean, this goes day in and day out. And when you find a bug, you don't just write it up. I mean, yeah, you gotta write it up, but you gotta go back and you have to trigger the bug like 5 times. So this is like a really weird, very particular set of events kind of bug, but it's like, the crash of the game. Yeah, you gotta replicate all that about 5 times. And if you forgot to get it on video, guess what? You gotta go back and get it on video.
Oh, video bugs. Oh,
Yeah.
I,
Yeah, that was tons of fun. The one time that somebody tripped the cable of my VCR, and I didn't realize it stopped recording.
oh yeah, because
So, yeah,
you were doing console games, right?
yeah, we were doing. This was 2006, so we had PSPs, a handful of PS2 games, and a bunch of 360 games.
Okay, because
We had like a PS3 test kit, but they didn't really trust us with that thing.
wasn't that like it looked like an old like 386?
Oh no. What looked like an old 386 for the PSP test kits.
Oh,
You had this box that literally looked like the first generation towers, and you have a cable, like a cable running out of it, connected to a PSP set.
okay.
Oh, there's something I forgot to mention. I want to go back to the corporate.
Go back to bed.
For this company real quick. But remember how I said that none of the other departments wanted to deal with us?
Yeah.
Well, we kind of got our revenge on them one day. So it came to the point where the office was shutting down. The company is still operating here, just that particular office closed down. And, well, a couple people from our department decided to go be Vikings and went down to where the perms were, because they decided to leave early because they could. And, well, doing what Vikings do, went and looted some of their stuff.
Hey man, no one's gonna notice anymore. Besides, think of that as severance pay.
Yep. So, I mean, oh my god, that's the other thing. This isn't just, it isn't just localized to this particular company, but just in general, I know I've worked at the 2 jobs I did, there's a lot of stuff that goes on. Memory cards disappear, controllers. Jesus Christ! We had around the time the office was closing down, a lot of our guys migrated over to to one of the other companies in the area, and literally all the wireless 360 controllers just disappeared.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
See, yeah, going back to the testing methods, that was pretty much like wrapped up at that company. Now the other company I was working at, it was more or less the same structure, but the culture was completely different. Look, it was pretty much like Chinese sweatshops, like one notch above Chinese sweatshops.
Hey, sounds like my experience.
Yeah. So this is, I went from the company where they didn't want to have anything to do with us, so they just told us what to do and didn't bother, trying to micromanage anything. Like, hey, just do it, I don't care how, I don't want to talk to you anymore. To basically near micromanagement Nazis. It has to be done this way, this has to be done this way, at this time, on this machine, it's this method. And we have our own version of punishment at this one. Whereas usually at the other company, it was kind of just, hey, get back to work kind of thing. Here, if you take somebody off, you didn't get kicked off the project. You got kicked out to the low spec Vista machine.
Ah, yeah, I remember those days.
Yes. Yeah, because we were testing a multi-platform 360 and PC machine game. And yeah, this is about the time Vista came out. So not only did you get busted down to having to deal with, basically what's, the the garbage SKU, but not only are you on the garbage SKU, but you're on the garbage of the garbage SKU.
Wow.
There was one day they put me to work on this, not because I did anything wrong. It wasn't for punishment. It was more like, what was it? I already went through and checked I cleared my regression list, like all the previous bugs I found. I came back and made sure they still happened or not. So this was where being efficient came back and bit me in the ass. So I cleared my regression list and they moved me to the Vista machine, and holy crap, this thing was, yeah. The ground had no texture. Yeah.
That's for performance reasons.
Huh?
That was for performance reasons.
Yeah. I literally couldn't tell what was a legitimate graphical bug and what was like cranked down for like minimum performance levels. Like, yeah, that was freaking garbage. That sucked. Again, it was a lot of the same thing. Like, we had say we had one unit there, say a couple vehicles, they got a tank. Has to do the same thing. Okay, do all the tanks weapons work? Does it die properly? Does it kill stuff? Like, it was just more the melt your brain kind of thing. But not only was it melt your brain level work, but it was melt your brain level work with somebody micromanaging, somebody above your managers micromanaging your managers and making them micromanage you.
Ooh.
So it was literally like second degree micromanagement. And go figure, the ones micromanaging our managers they knew jack crap about the development side of things.
Dude, you're having my head hurt.
Huh?
My head is now hurting with the micromanaging of micro people.
Yeah, that's literally what it was. And now I'm gonna get to the part about okay. So we mentioned before, there's different severities of bugs. You have the A-level bugs, which are, your can advances, like, you get stuck somewhere, have to restart the game, or the game crashes. Then you have the B-level bugs, which is, like, for example, the game won't crash, but say you're playing Call of Duty and the M16 doesn't work. Like, broken functionality. Your C-level bugs, which is your visual stuff, it doesn't really affect the functionality, it doesn't really affect doesn't crash the game, but it just, like, looks weird. Like, you're looking at character model, but his head's on backwards. And then you get they're called different things in different companies, but the ones I remember, I think we call it TRS bugs or something like that. And that's when you get something like, grammatical issues or like busted menu issues. Like, for example, say you have a PSP game or a Vita game. On normal, the home PlayStation consoles, whenever you see a button icon, like, the X, circle, triangle, and square, they're colored according to the buttons. So, pink, square, blue, X, and all that. But on the Vita and the PSP, they're supposed to be all gray. So if you see them colored like the home console, yeah, it's TRS bug. Or if you see, oh god, this one sucks. Having to check for this one, but proper spelling, grammar, and punctuation in the online agreement. Yeah, those long ass terms and conditions. Somebody has to read those.
Oh my gosh.
Someone has to grammar and spell check that thing.
Hey, can I interject with a short, quick story on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So there was one game and it was being finished, and everyone was celebrating. Hey, look, we're releasing another game, great! And then someone came in and said, we can't release this. Why? Because we have 3 misspellings in the end credits. Like they had like coordinator, but it was missing an O and stuff like that. Like it wasn't like a misspelling of the name, which they probably would have shipped with. It was and just apologize to that person. No, it was misspelling of like the category of that person. And it was like, no. It's like all the way at the end. Oh my gosh. Because someone always has to do a full playthrough before they release it, right?
Right.
So yeah, that was bad. All right, go ahead.
So you got these levels of severity, and usually when you start getting towards the end of the project, close to release date, the only ones they start to care about are the A and B bugs. So if you get a really minor C bug, like you get minor graphical tearing here or there, or something looks funny. I mean, not as bad as characters with their heads on backwards. So they're just marked on the bug report as Waived Shippable. What that means is, okay, we know it's there, but it's not bad enough to prevent the launch of the game.
In other words, we don't care about your opinion.
Right. Which brings us to the modern age of gaming with things called day zero patches.
Oh my.
Shit that doesn't work.
Oh.
Okay. Now I'm going to go a little bit into. Here's why I'm not going to name off the company I used to work for, because this part is not going to be very flattering towards the corporate culture there. Basically, here's how this is in general, not just for one particular company. Here's how game development goes. It's literally a war between 2 factions.
3.
One faction is the developers, the artists, and the QAs. The guys actually do the work and make the thing. And then on the other side, you have your producers and marketing people, like the guys who tell everybody about it, put the thing out, and then take all the credit for it. Now, what usually happens towards the end of the development period, like around launch period, usually I don't want to say usually, but this is what could happen. There's still a fair amount of bugs that need to be worked out, but the marketing and the developers marketing and producers are so set on keeping their deadline that they're going to release a broken product anyway. Basically, you'll have crashes. You'll have the level of crap you see on Batman Arkham Knight on PC.
Ugh.
Like the game that's infamous for just not working. You'll have that issue going on, and marketing and production just want to get it out anyway. So they'll wave shippable to be like A and B level bugs. So whenever I see reviewers and people online going, "Oh, what the hell's going on over there? These people can't make games for crap." You're directing your rage at the wrong people, because developers, they made the thing. Then QA found all the stuff that was wrong with it. QA told everybody what was wrong with it, as is our job to do. Developers wanted more time to fix it, but marketing said, no. But we have our deadline and we must adhere to it. And yeah, a broken game comes out, bad reputation, he gets ripped on, and here's a really shitty part. You have to get laid off if once that whole mess it turns into a giant tire fire. It ain't the producers who put out a shitty broken product. It's going to be artists, developers, and QA people. So that's why whenever we see, every now and then, throughout the course of this podcast, you'll probably hear us use the term wave shippable in a derisive manner. And that's where it comes from. It comes from the single-minded, I almost want to compare the producers and marketing people to Hitler in his last days in the bunker. They won't listen to reality. They only pay attention to the own reality going on in their heads, even as the whole project falls apart around them. And they expect things to be all like hunky-dory at the end, when literally everyone around us goes, "No, this is broken, this is broken, this is broken. We gotta fix that, gotta fix that." So when you spend your money and you buy a game like Batman on PC, that's the producer's fault. They're the ones who put that out. So, I mean, I don't want to make it sound like it's a completely negative experience. I mean, from the first company I worked with, it actually was the overall experience was a pretty positive one. I mean, some of my coworkers there, I'm still in touch with them while we're together through Facebook. The pay I made at that company, this was 2006. I was making $12 an hour. I literally could not complain too much about that.
Yeah, 12 an hour, and even though you're stuck playing one level of a game all day, you find ways to entertain yourself.
Right, and I mean, not just 12 an hour, but 12 an hour in 2006.
Yeah.
So, stuff like gas cost a lot less back then, too.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So, I mean, overall, it was a pretty good experience, and depending on where you go, yeah, there's a lot of, like, corporate bullshit. But on the other hand, I think if you really like playing video games, it's been a hobby for, as long as you can remember, I actually recommend doing a stint as a QA tester, just so you can actually see everything that goes into making your games. It's just, don't go in with this kind of romanticized idea of what it might be. It's a grind, and it will melt your brain, and people will piss you off.
But
a lot of people might piss you off.
But it'll also help you appreciate a well-made game. You know what I mean? Like some of the games I've played later on, like, okay, yeah, no, I noticed that you guys compromised on these bugs, but in the end, like, I felt like you guys released a good, proper one. It just gives you a different eye. And the skills we learned from developing our QA focus also helped us, try to fix other things in our lives. So I would argue anyone should pick up a QA job and learn QA skills. Right.
Actually, come to think of it, I think working QA at a game company, I think maybe I didn't give it enough value because it teaches you how to think analytically, and if you're already thinking like that, it helps hone that even more.
Yep.
But it does it in a kind of engaging manner. I mean, for one thing, you're doing it firsthand.
Yeah.
But secondly, you're doing it in a field that you're interested in to begin with. This isn't like those bullshit high school math problems. It was like Jimmy has 28 candy bars. If Jimmy eats 26, how many candy bars does Jimmy have? What does Jimmy have? So, well, I don't give a damn how many candy bars Jimmy has, because they're not my candy bars. And that's when you get people who put in reply, who put fill in answers. Jimmy has diabetes. That's what he has. So, I mean, it makes you think without really making you realize you're thinking, if that makes sense.
Yes. It allows you to it develops your internal mental procedure on how to attack a problem.
Right. Because I mean, when you get to, when you're doing open testing with the team I was on, we always put together some kind of like very loose structure because there's just too many things to check. So for example, you know, you go see what's up with this level. You go see what's up with this level. You use this gun, use that gun. So we'll follow like just a very general kind of plan of attack for how to deal with it. Otherwise, you're gonna have two people testing the same thing, which isn't a bad thing. But when you're let loose the first time, you're let loose on a new new area. You want to cover as much ground as you can. You want to widen the net as much as you can.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's kind of that's my little shtick on working in the industry. I mean, I've since moved on with it. I've gone in a couple of different fields right now. A couple of different more stereotypically professional fields. Not that there's anything unprofessional about working in the games industry. Would I go back to it? Not in the capacity I was working at. If I ever took my graphic artwork to if I ever became serious about it and took that to the next level, maybe doing art design for what was it? What's the new Call of Duty? Call of Duty Halo Edition, the one with space.
Infinity War?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Call of Duty Halo Wars. Yeah, I might, I'd be interested in designing stuff like ships for that. But,
Oh, they are making Halo War 2, by the way.
Yeah, I know that. I was just trying to make fun of Call of Duty because they just rehash crap. But I mean, yeah, would I go back as a video game QA tester? Probably not. Do I regret my time doing it? Definitely not. No way. It was definitely time well spent.
Nice. I mean, you said basically. I mean, we've had similar experiences in that sense. But I went down the path of making QA my career, and I still work in the software world. But now
You're not doing games though.
no, I'm not doing games anymore. Though it'd be interesting with the knowledge I have now how to QA what do you call it? QA PC games, because I would have some interesting theories on how to take a more analytical approach to it. But that's me.
Right.
I think that.
Let me go a little bit into some of the people you run into in the field.
All right, go ahead.
I'm gonna name. Okay, we're at the first company. I'm not gonna name any names, but the people I worked with were some pretty cool, laid back guys. They're like, you'll run into all shades of people. I mean, you'll run into you'll have the outcasts there as you would with any group. Like you'll have the guys who don't get invited to anything, and whenever they do get invited to something, it's because they accidentally got added onto the group invite email.
Yeah.
We've literally had days where, oh man, did you invite so and so? No. What were you on the thing? Oh shit, I must have put all that on accident. But I mean, yeah, some pretty laid back guys, and my bosses were all cool people. Cool, really down to earth kind of people. And I have some of the best guys that I've worked under there. For the most part, while I was there, my project lead, he was the kind of guy that he understood that we knew what we needed to do. So he made no attempt to micromanage our work. It was just, all right, guys, we have the new build today, so go do your thing. I'll send test cases in about an hour.
Well, that's good
It was,
trust.
I mean, it was a pretty laid back attitude. It was, would, I wouldn't, I'll put it this way. I wouldn't go back to doing QA, but I would definitely take the opportunity to work with those guys again on, maybe something else. Then at the other company, it was a lot of the same thing with some of my coworkers. It was just different crowd, but there's some characters there too. You just running like the full spectrum of people. You have the guys there who they're just looking for a paycheck. I mean, not
Some guys want to break into the game industry. Some looking for a
like
paycheck.
some guys are looking to get into it. Some guys are just looking to get paid. Some guys just want to, see what it's like. You got nerds. You got nerds, geeks. Here's one dude. One example of the kind of characters I work with. There's a Japanese comedian back around the time we were working who goes by Hard Gay, and his gimmick is being like the stereotypical flaming leather-clad homosexual. And he has this particular dance that he does, and kind of a semi-running joke was this guy will do that dance. Over at the other company I was working at, when I was there, the Michael Vick thing just happened. So for Halloween, this guy on our team, he comes in there wearing a Michael Vick jersey, and he has a leash with a stuffed dog on the end, and he's kicking the dog around.
Wow. Yeah.
You run into some characters. Like, there's one guy, one of my project leads. I'm sitting a couple aisles down away from him, and I hear one of the other lead testers go through and say, "Hey, the bill's broken." And the reply I hear from the lead, it wasn't even human speech. I just hear a fist hit the table. I just hear this groan as a fist hit the table.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it. I don't know if I could be a lead. I mean, I've been a QA manager now. And it wasn't in the video game industry, but man, your boss is asking you, hey, when's QA going to be done? And then you try to coordinate with the developer going, hey, when are you going to give us a build? We are getting like stuff, we're getting people breathing down our necks. And then, of course, oh, yeah, no, we'll get it to you soon. And they give you the wrong build. Ah!
You know what's worse than getting the wrong build? Getting the right build but broken. Like, because of being downloaded on a 56K connection, it goes down somewhere along the line.
Oh my gosh. Or it works on my machine, and then you gotta take like a screenshot and a video to prove, hey, look, it can happen. Fix it. Oh man. But yeah, that was my 2 cents as well in this. I mean, it's definitely a good growing experience for people to be even be very, very analytical or to develop. It's also good developing communication skills. Like you have to explain on paper to another person who, I mean, it's a stereotype, but it's true. Most programmers aren't very social people. So.
Let me go back to the guy I mentioned earlier. He doesn't get invited to stuff. A lot of it was because this guy had really, really bad social skills. He couldn't pick up on the social cues. He was very bad at communicating, and just nobody wanted to deal with this guy. People were literally wondering, how did he not get canned? How is he still here? So yeah, I mean, one way or the other, you have to develop those interpersonal skills.
Yep.
But if somebody listening is thinking about going into the field, I would say this: don't go into QA with the idea in your head that you're gonna stay in QA. Because the other thing about that is I mean, okay, depending on where you go, the pay itself might be decent, but there's no job security.
Yep,
By
none.
that I mean the usual MO for these companies is they hire you on as a temp, and then they keep you on there for the duration of the project. And depending on the company, they'll either move you on to another project or they just lay you off. Now, when they lay you off, you're eligible for unemployment, and usually, if you got a good reputation with them, you come back, you reapply like after 3 months or something like that,
Yep.
and they usually just hire you back on because the thing is they don't want to hire you on as a permanent employee because then they have to give you benefits, and they don't want to do that because they're fucking greedy bastards sometimes.
Yep.
So I wouldn't go in with the idea in your head that you're gonna stay there. If anything, go in with the idea of it being a stepping stone. Like if you want to do development, become a game dev, go into QA and see that end. And while you're there, actually see if you can get the opportunity to talk to some developers. Same thing if you want to go into art design. Same thing. Oh, same thing if you want to. If you want to try to get some managerial experience, work hard and see if you can get an elite tester position. So I actually got paid to do that work going back to the first company I worked at, how I mentioned that the atmosphere around there was very laid back. It was laid back to the point that we'd have guys come in and work at 11 a.m. and they just stay there until like 7, so leaving at 5. And it happened a lot with our lead tester. So it's like, hey, he's not here yet. For one reason or another, I'd end up pulling the lead tester job. So, where we leave off yesterday? Oh, okay, we need to do this. Okay, you do this, you do this, you do this. Let's get this case done and out of the way. You two over there, you guys just do regression all day. So, I mean, the other thing is you also develop leadership skills, whether you expect to or not.
Well, you can, yes.
Yeah. In my case, it was more of a, partly because I was bored enough to have nothing. I didn't want to just sit there. I was bored and then just want to sit there at the screen all day.
Yeah.
And partly also because every now and then I'd be the first one in the office pretty often. Only because I didn't want to have to deal with traffic and all that crap. So I'd say, I'd be there early, but, I'd take advantage and have breakfast in the office. So, it's like, oh, well, you're here already. Do you think you can handle this? Yeah, okay. And when these guys come in and tell me to do this for us. Okay, sure, whatever. So, yeah. I'm not sure I have anything else to say about actually working in the field in that capacity.
Well, I want to end this episode just reiterating, at least for me, reiterating one thing. Chances are, 99% of the time, when you buy a game and the game is broken somehow, don't blame QA. Don't even blame the developers. Someone made the decision to ship it, and it wasn't them.
Yeah. Oh, this is another thing I want to bring and touch on that a little bit more is, working, the developers, the QA people, the artists, they're all gamers and game hobbyists just like the rest of us. But when you have the marketing people and the production, those are like your business majors and that kind of stuff who don't play games and they don't understand I guess the culture. Like they don't understand the mentality of what am I trying to say? Yeah, I think that's it. And they don't understand the culture around gamers and stuff. They're so focused on their
bottom line,
like
deadline.
Yeah. Yeah, so whenever something comes out broke, you want to know who to be pissed off at? Sit there, watch the credits, and wait till the producer's name scrolls by. Because the buck stops at that person.
Yep. Well.
So am I saying that just out of sour grapes to try to throw people under the bus? No. I'm saying that because that's the reality of the situation. I'm making a statement of fact.
Yep. Alrighty. Well, everyone, think about going into video game QA. Don't think about making it a career, but as a good way to develop yourself and just kind of foot in the door for that industry. So for me, Boxer, and for Dictator over there, just enjoy our sour grapes. Peace.